practices that are standard practices at Kartik month and was kind of common in the Gaudiya month, and that is for the 4 months of the rainy season he wouldn't shave. Some people think it's attractive and some people don't think it's attractive, but the rest of the year he would shave. And another thing that he did was, just to get a picture, he ate once a day. And when he ate once a day, try it, khichdi without salt. And he wouldn't use his hands. Like a horse, he would lean over and eat with his mouth. So it means his beard got all filled with khichdi. And he would stay down until he finished, and then once he sat up, that was it for the day. So what happens when you lean over with your stomach? It gets compressed a bit. So the capacity is diminished, and the principle is, that he followed at least, as soon as he sat upright, that's it for the day, till the next day. And he did that for the 4 months of the rainy seasons. That's just one indication of his capacity for austerity. Now let's see if this system is not working. Hello? In the back there? The slide changer isn't working. Can you fix that? It's a nice image, but oh, okay. I pushed it the wrong way. There we go. Okay, thank you. There we see an image that's just off the internet. It's not the fellow. A contemporary of Bhaktisiddhanta was Radharaman Archana Das Babaji. He was a celebrity in Jagannath Puri at the time, and he made his residence. In fact, if you visit Puri and you go to the Samadhi of Haridas Thakur, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally placed his body in Samadhi, and there's a nice Samadhi place where that was, right next to his Samadhi is Radharaman Archana Das Babaji's Samadhi, because he identified himself, at least externally, with Haridas Thakur. And he was a Babaji, and he was a celebrity. Within Puri, he was a very celebrated, famous man. However, Bhaktisiddhanta, being Bhaktisiddhanta, took exception to 2 of the practices that he was engaged in. One was, he invented a different mantra. I won't say the mantra, but it's, in Bhaktisiddhanta's explanation, it's rasabhasa. He mixed rasas within the mantra. And the second, and his followers would chant this other mantra. The second is, he was engaging his primary disciple, follower, in what's known as Saki Beki. He was training his disciple to become a gopi. And so he dressed his disciple as a gopi and taught him gestures of a gopi and, immersion within this body of life like a gopi, called Saki Beki. Bhaktisiddhanta didn't live there, but his father lived there. In fact, his father's bhajan place is about 100 yards away from Haridas Thakur's Samadhi, which means about 100 yards away from where Radharaman Archana Radharaman, there we go, thank you. Radharaman Charana, thank you. Radharaman Charana, okay. Was staying. So Bhaktisiddhanta confronted him and scolded him, saying, both of these things are bogus, and please stop it, and gave scriptural reference as to why it was bogus. And there was some dispute, and because of that confrontation and the dispute, there was a big hubbub in Puri because he's a celebrated personality. And it became so violent that Bhaktivinoda Thakur recommended, this isn't going to go well here in Jagannath Puri. Why don't you go to Mayapur and just chant Hare Krishna? So we went to Mayapur to chant Hare Krishna. And the slide changer is not working. Can you change the slide? There. So he took a vow when he went to Mayapur to chant 1 billion names. And to chant 1 billion names, the path was the same number of rounds per day as Haridas Thakur. We're going to be tomorrow invited and challenged maybe to chant 64 rounds one day. For a number of years, he chanted 3 times 64 rounds daily. Change the slide, please. There we go. That's 192 rounds a day. If you chant 1 round in 5 minutes per round, which is not what most of us do, it would take 16 hours a day, plus 1 meal with your beard growing. But it wasn't just during Chaturmasya. For 9 years he did this. For 9 years. Initially, he made his residence at the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He built a little hut and stayed there. Then after some time, he shifted to what later became the headquarters of Bhaktisiddhanta, because at this stage he had not yet established Gaudiya Math. But the grandfather, Chandrasekhar Acharya, if my memory is correct, the grandfather of his mother, had a residence down the road from the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he built a little cottage. And over a period of time, after his demise, they built this place that's like, a temple, a shrine, where he did his chanting, Namavrata. Let's do it again. 3 times 64 rounds every day for 9 years, chanting 16 hours a day, at least minimum, or more, because you have to do other things. For 9 years. And that means what we can understand from that is 2 things. He's a Superman. He's superhuman. He's on the same platform as Haridas Thakur. That's not ordinary. We're ordinary, and he's not ordinary. And another is, when he writes something about the holy name, we can take it as fact, truth, transcendental truth about the chanting of the holy name. Here's a recent photograph of that little structure that was built from what was a little cottage, or like a thatched little building, to what it is today. And another very interesting event in the course of his establishing Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, that later became his headquarters. His headquarters became eventually, along with the deities, He had a two-story building. Prabhupada described. On the upper floor is where he stayed. On the upper floor there was a balcony, and one of the things that he did as a regular practice was he'd pace back and forth on the balcony and make arguments. He'd make an argument and present the counter-argument, and then present the counter-argument to that counter-argument, and defeat that counter-argument to his argument. And he was a very intense person, not an ordinary person. And one time he went to Jaipur because he wanted to establish deity for his headquarters, for Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. And there was a particular set of deities, as I recall, the deities that he liked were these deities, and the carver of Murtis said, "I'm sorry, I can't give those to you because they're already promised to somebody else." He was a little disappointed. And then that evening, the carver had a dream. And in the dream, the deity instructed him, "That sadhu that came today, I want to be worshipped by him. Please make arrangement." And so he found out where Bhaktisiddhanta was staying the next morning and told him the good news. "I'll work it out with the man who requested these deities, and they're your deities." And he gifted them to him. So they came to Mayapur, and Gandharvika Giridhari is their name. And there's Mahaprabhu deity by Giridhari's side. And maybe some of you have seen, it's undergone some changes over time, but on the four corners of the temple, it's not a big temple, it's a place where it's sufficient for the deities, so you can circumambulate around the deity. And on the four corners, back in 1974, now it's a few years later, but there were the four Sampradaya Acharyas on the four corners. And since then, they've replaced those and put some other murtis on the four corners. But it was one of his preaching platforms saying that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave teachings that integrated all four of the Sampradayas. And he, in his way, he did it in details and details and details. There's a book, if you're interested, Four Sampradayas. And he gives the essential teachings of those four Sampradayas, a little bit of the history, disciplic succession, and a very detailed Bhaktisiddhanta-like way of writing. And then he explained that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one way of saying it is, he accepted two teachings from each of the four Sampradayas. So it's not that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an eclectic, he just coupled things off the shelf over here and off of there. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching is the essence of the four Sampradayas. And one can trace the connection in Lord Chaitanya's teachings with very prominent teachings amongst each of the four Sampradayas. So that's just something about his stature. Can we change the slide, please? It's not working. Can you change the slide? There we go. One of the writings that were later published where he gave many instructions. Thank you. He gave many instructions to disciples, as Prabhupada did, Prabhupada followed Bhaktisiddhanta's example, and he gave teachings through letters. Now, a qualifier. Teachings through letters can be specific to the person who he's writing to. And therefore, one can say they don't carry as much weight as Shastra itself, because Shastra itself is for everybody, and instructions can be customized. Next. So this is taken from one of his letters. I am overjoyed to hear that your enthusiasm for chanting is increasing as our contaminations are removed by chanting, Chaita Darpana Marjanam. The Lord's form, qualities, and pastimes will be revealed to us in the holy name. The language is important. It's not the form is over there, and by chanting I come to realize the form that's over there. But the form of the Lord is in his holy name. It's clear? It's important. We say, that the Nama and Nami are non-different. It's an important teaching. Abhinatvan Nama Namino. There's abhina, a relationship of non-difference. Abhina. Between the name and the object named. Nama and Nami. We'll hear tomorrow morning, just before the 64 round day, some more on that particular point. I'll just say it a little bit in advance. Bhaktisiddhanta expresses, with our mind, it is not possible to grasp and realize the fact that the name and the object named, that Krishna and Krishna are non-different. The mind cannot comprehend it. It remains mysterious. We can accept it in principle, but to experience it, it's beyond the mind's capacity. But it can be revealed, and he's expressing how it's revealed. And there's a sequence. It's in his father's writings also, in Harinam Chintamani, but the sequence of Nama, then Rupa, then Guna and Lila. Again, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, in sequence, from the name, the form, and from the name and the form, the qualities, and the name and the form and the qualities, the pastimes are all within the name, and one can have them revealed if Krishna chooses to reveal them. Now he can choose to reveal it to an unqualified person. Commonly it's revealed to a qualified person. Slide change? Does it work?
Can you point it that side?
Can you do what?
Can you point it to the laptops?
Okay, let's try. Hey, it worked. There is no point in making separate effort to artificially remember the Lord's form, qualities, and pastimes. The Lord and his name are one and the same. This will be understood clearly when the coverings in your heart are removed. This is commenting on a practice that was prevalent at the time. A practice that was prevalent at the time is Lila Smarana, remembrance of the Lila. And his point is, in this particular little section of his letter, it's not essential, or there's no point, because they're all revealed by one thing, just chanting the name. No, it's authoritative. He's a Superman. 9 years times 64 rounds a day times 3. This is realization and authoritative. It doesn't mean don't engage in remembrance of the pastimes of the Lord. Is not what he's saying. But a separate endeavor for that is not required. Or he's not saying don't do it, but it's part of, it's connected with, it flows from the chanting of the holy name. Help. There we go. By chanting without offenses, small thing, you will personally realize that all perfections come from the holy name. May you realize that one day. But it's true. Through chanting, the distinction that exists between the self and the gross and subtle bodies, coverings, is gradually effaced, and one realizes one's own spiritual form. Once aware of the spiritual body, as one continues to chant, one sees the transcendental nature of the Lord's form. Powerful, huh? So we know that the soul is not just a spark. The soul is a person. That's an aspect, it's luminous like the sun. But it's more than a spark. The soul has form, and that can be realized by effacing the coverings. No, he has a nice vocabulary. I'm not accustomed, at least, to use the word efface. So let's meditate a moment. What does effaced means? One common usage that I'm aware of is on coins. When they print coins, they have some date and a person and some words on the coin. And then over time, the coins rub with other coins, and eventually the details of what's on the coin becomes effaced. It's there, but it's not distinct. Similarly, the soul is covered, body and mind, or gross body, subtle body. And it's still there, sort of self-realized soul. It's still there, but its identification with that, it becomes effaced. And when that identification with upadhis becomes effaced, what's left? What's left is the soul, but not just the soul, spiritual form, one's own spiritual form. Now, I had discussion on this topic with someone, a learned devotee. The process that's described in Rupa Goswami's writings, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, he describes that the swarup of the soul is realized in a different manner than what's described here. It doesn't mean if this is right, then that's wrong. If that's right, then this is wrong. The description is different. It's a subset. There's synergy, not contradiction. Rather than going into what Rupa Goswami says. This is Bhakti Siddhanta, and it's true. He's not saying, for you, my dear Prabhu. He's saying, for one. Anyone. Once one is aware of the spiritual body, so self-realization precedes God realization. Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundara Ki Jai. I'll say it again. Self-realization precedes, it's like the rising of the sun. It's gradual. But there's the glimmer of the rays of the sun before the whole sun shows on the horizon. So realization of one's spiritual form comes, and as one continues to chant, one sees the transcendental nature of the Lord's form. Language is very important, and this is his language. Notice how straight his back is. When you engage yourself tomorrow, or any time, but tomorrow, in the 64 round day, try to sit properly. And one devotee, he seemed a little bit like he was proud of the fact that you've heard that recording of chanting japa. and Prabhupada stops and says, sit properly. You've heard that one? Some of you have not registering. It was at 61 seconds, according to Nayana Baram, he was slumped like a sack of potatoes against the altar, leaning against the altar and, not sitting straight. So Prabhupada, the recording is from that place, and he stopped chanting, and it was very audible, sit properly. Now there was, some years ago, an experience at a 64 round day, and one teenage devotee was falling asleep. And because they were sitting like a sack of potatoes. And if you don't know what a sack of potatoes is, try it. It's just... You have to be, sit properly. The straight spine, etc. There's things that help bring attentiveness. That's one of them, sitting properly. Only the holy name reveals the spiritual form of the living being and then causes him to be attracted to Krishna's form. And then, only the holy name reveals the spiritual qualities of the living being and then causes him to be attracted to Krishna's qualities. So it's Nama, Rupa, Guna, and Lila. Only the holy name reveals the spiritual activities of the living being and then causes him to be attracted to Krishna's pastimes. 1, 2, 3. By service to the holy name, we do not mean only the chanting of the holy name, semicolon. It also includes the other duties of the chanter, important. They're not disconnected. They're important. They're connected. If we serve the holy name with the body, mind, and soul, then the direction of that service spontaneously manifests like the sun in the clear sky of the chanter's heart. Realization of perfected soul. The life of our life, Shyam Sundar is going to be giving out a little gift. He's got it in that little bag by his feet over there. The gift is something you're all going to receive as soon as he gets his chance to speak. And it's going to be a little wristband that says something like, "My life belongs to Krishna." Huh? You have already? Okay. Is that what it says? My life belongs to Krishna. Or this life belongs to Krishna. Something like that. My life belongs to Krishna. So my life belongs to Krishna. And if my life belongs to Krishna, and I'm chanting Krishna's name, then but the life, body, mind, and soul, that's Atma is all three, belongs to Krishna. And that service, if we belong to Krishna, is the entryway into that life is through the chanting of the holy name. That's what we're here for. And while the services that we do are very important, they arise effectively from the proper chanting of the holy name, and not otherwise. What is the nature of the holy name? Eventually, all of these understandings spontaneously appear in the heart of one who chants the holy name. We can read about it. It's good to read about it. It's good to hear about it. But the realization is different than is a byproduct of that hearing. And that byproduct of that hearing is made fully empowered through the chanting of the holy name. Most important thing. as we know. And then to do it is another thing. The true nature of Hari Nam is revealed by listening to, reading, and studying the scriptures. It is unnecessary to write anything further on this subject. All these things will be revealed to you through chanting. Powerful, huh? Powerful. Whoops. This is Srila Prabhupada on Bhaktisiddhanta's disappearance day, offering flowers and homage to Bhaktisiddhanta in respectful manner. So another place, just a few slides and we're finished. One of the additional books, along with the letters that he wrote, is sayings that he spoke. And that's Vani. And so there's a book published by Gaudiya Math, Amritavani. There you see the number in the book. The holy name is by nature eternal and full of knowledge and bliss. By the holy name's mercy, a living entity revives his spiritual consciousness. I mean, it's not that we don't know these things, but it's nice to hear these things from a realized person. Whoop, what happened? Help. There we go. The holy name manifests in those senses that are engaged only in pleasing his senses. Nice? Not only, in the seat of consciousness, but in the senses that are engaged in the service of Rishiketa Rishikesha Sevanam. Amritavani 93. Just because mundane thoughts appear in the mind while we chant, there was a question yesterday evening about this, the holy name does not mean we should slacken our chanting. Whoops. Just because mundane thoughts appear in the mind while we chant the holy name does not mean we should slacken our chanting. It doesn't mean continue the purification. Oh, slide changer, please work. There we go. The useless thoughts will gradually disappear as the irrevocable fruits of chanting, irrevocable fruits of chanting the holy names. Do not be in a hurry. Here's a cute one. You can say Hare Krishna, but you can't Hare Krishna. So be patient. And, Utsaha Nishayat Daryat. Same. Don't be in a hurry. Oh, come on. The distance, I like this one. The distance between ourself and our gross and subtle bodies gradually diminishes when we chant the holy name, and we soon revive awareness of our original constitutional position. He's saying same things in different language, but it's nice to see from different perspective. The distance between ourself and the coverings gradually diminishes. That's the effacing concept again. Oh, slide changer. There. When we are thus self-realized, that was pretty quick. When we are thus self-realized, the Lord's pure holy name will manifest in our heart, and we will directly see Sri Krishna's transcendental form. Chant the Mahamantra loudly with attachment. This will drive away inertia, worldly ills, and disturbances. But tomorrow, when we're chanting together, don't chant so loudly you're disturbing the person next to you. So respectful. It's important. But audibly, please, because that's important too. Next. Is that it? That's it. Okay. These are realizations from a pure devotee on anything, and particularly this is the chanting of the Holy Name weekend for all of us. Focused, focused, focused. Hearing from our great acharyas, we'll do some more of this going forward. That's my intention. And gathering directions and inspirations and perhaps something that you heard in the course of the time we just spent together hearing Bhaktisiddhanta's realizations will impact you, and you'll find it beneficial and helpful as we go forward into the 64 round day tomorrow. And then further chanting. So because of time, it's now 10 minutes, 12 minutes before 9 o'clock. There's a plan to have a initiation into the chanting of the Holy Name. And we're going to shift our attention to over there where the yajna has been set up and everything's ready to go, right? Okay. So Anjali's visiting us from Boston. I've known her and her family for a few decades, at least her family. She's not a few decades, but a couple of them. And very dedicated, very capable follower of Srila Prabhupada and our bhakti teachings. And I'm very happy that she's taking this step. And her parents are here? Yes? Back there? They're here, okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. So let's do this. I think I'm going to ask for my chair to go over here so all your attention can go over there, and we'll proceed with the yajna. Is that okay? Okay, you do that first. She's right here. Look at that seed. Kurma. Need a high chair.
You sit down behind your mama, not together. Behind.
Hare Krishna.
Come on, sit down here behind your mama. You can sit down behind. Yes, you can sit down.
They're okay.
Say Om, Apavitro,
Apavitra,
Pavitrova,
Pavitrova,
Sarvavastha,
Sarvavastham,
Gadopiva,
Gatopiva,
Yasmare,
Yasmarit,
Pundarikaksha,
Pundarikaksha,
Sabhya,
Sabhaya,
Abhyandara,
Abhyantara,
Jihi,
Suchihi,
Sri Vishnu,
Shri Vishnu,
Sri Vishnu,
Shri Vishnu,
Sri Vishnu,
Shri Vishnu.
Om Ashraya Bhat, Om Ashraya Bhat, Om Ashraya Bhat. And you can try. What put it right that 3 rounds. If not, then we'll put it 3 rounds. Take out the old one.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So now for invoking auspiciousness through transcendental sound vibration, we'll chant together Sri Brahma Samhita. Sri Brahma Samhita, these verses are the result of our founder, Lord Brahma, from chanting his Gayatri mantra. He had these realizations. I chant swiftly, and you just follow my cadence, and you follow along. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana Jintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha Lakshavratesu Surabhi Abhipanayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrahma Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kadvantamaravindalayya Taksham Bharhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Aloja Chandrakala Sadvanamalya Vankshi Ratnangadam Pranaya Keda Kalavilasam Shambam Tribangalanitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achutam Anadim Anantarupam Rajam Purana Purusham Naviyovanam Cha Vedesha Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Antashtakoti Shatavatsara Sampragamnyo Vayoratapi Manisobmani Pungavanam Sopyasti Yad Prapadasinya Vichincha Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam Ekopya Saurachayatam Jagadanda Kotim Yachaktirasti Jagadanda Chayaya Dantaha Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yad Bhava Bhava Tadiyoma Najasta Taiva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasha Nayana Bhusha Suktairimeva Nigamat Pratataisthavanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavi Tabis Tabirya Eva Nitya Rupa Tagaya Kalabihi Goloka Eva Nivisatya Kilatma Bhoto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vinochanena Santaksataiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achincha Ganasarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadi Murtusha Kalani Amena Tishtan Nanavatara Makarod Bhuvaneshu Kinto Krishnaksmayam Sabhavamak Paramak Pamanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Koti Svashesha Vasudhari Vibhoti Bhinnam Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam Ashesha Bhotam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Mayahi Yasya Jagadanda Shatani Sute Taigunya Tad Vishaya Veda Vitaya Mana Satvavalambi Parasatvam Vishuddha Sattvam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratnigamanakso Yat Praninam Pini Param Smarutamapetia Leela Yatenu Bhuvanani Jagatya Jasram Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Golokanami Nitadamni Taleja Tasya Devi Mahesha Haridama Teshu Teshu Te Prabhava Nichayavi Tashyayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Trishti Tati Pralaya Sadhana Shaktireka Chaye Vayasha Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga Ichchalu Rupam Apiyasya Chatesta Tesa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Kshiram Yatadati Vikara Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Nahitatak Pritagasti Hetoho Yaksham Utam Ahipatasam Upaiti Karyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Deepanarchar Eva Hidasham Taram Abhyupetya Deepayate Hetu Samana Dharma Yastadrik Eva Hisha Vishnu Taya Vibhati Govindam Tamaham Bhajami Yatkara Narnava Jaleva Jatisma Yoga Nidramananta Jagadanda Saroma Kopaha Adara Shakti Vabalamya Param Sumurtim Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasyaika Nishvasitakana Matavalamya Jivanti Lome Vidaja Jagadandanataha Vishnur Mahansi Yasya Kalabhishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Masvanyatankshmasha Kaleshu Nujesha Teja Sviyam Kiyat Prakariyat Vitadvadatra Brahmaya Esha Jagadanda Vidana Karta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yat Pada Pallava Yugam Vidadaya Kumbha Dvandve Pranama Samayesa Ganadi Rajaha Vighan Vihantam Alam Asya Jagatrayasya Govindavadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Agnir Mahika Gun Ambarudashasya Kadastatatma Manasita Jagatrayani Yasmad Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yangsha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yachchaksha Esa Savitasa Kalagrahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja Yasyagya Yabramati Sambrata Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Dharmo Tapapa Nichaya Shruti Yasta Pangsi Ramadi Kita Gapanyavadi Yasta Jivaha Yadat Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yastvindra Gopa Matavendra Mahosva Karma Bandhana Rupa Padabhajanam Atanoti Karmani Nirdahitu Kintu Jabhakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayadi Biti Vatsalya Moha Gura Gaurava Sevya Bhavai Sanchintya Tasha Shadashim Tanam Aparete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purushab Kalpa Turavo Numa Bhumis Chintamani Ganami Amritam Kata Ganam Natyam Ganamam Api Bangshi Priyasaki Chidanandam Jyoti Param Apitat Asvajam Apicha Sayatrak Shirabi Shravati Surabhibhya Sumahan Nimesha Dyakyo Vrajati Yahitrapi Samaya Vaje Shveta Dvipam Tamaham Iha Golokam Itiyam Vidantaste Shantavshati Virala Charakatipaye Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir. So it's something I am accustomed to doing, and I think it's especially appropriate here. Somebody that knows the initiate very well is going to speak something about her. She can be embarrassed, and we can all be happy to hear some nice things about her. So.
So Anjali has known Mara since she was 15 years old, within many decades. She has grown taking spiritual guidance from Maharaj all throughout and at very important transitions in her life. She has appreciated Maharaj's consistency and determination in his services. Anjali is a graduate of Harvard Divinity School and had invited Maharaj for a panel discussion there. She's a psychologist by profession, and many of us know Her Grace Krishnalila Mataji. She was one of the first set of initiates of Guru Maharaj, and many of us have benefited tremendously by Krishnalila Mataji's services. So Anjali is the one who is receiving mentorship and training from Krishnalila Mataji to carry her work forward in devotees' lives. So she's going to carry on Krishnalila Mataji's work as healing therapist. Anjali's professional work is not just very integrated with her spiritual life, but it has sprung from her spiritual life, what she does, in her profession. And at her home, her role as a wife and as a mother is guided by her devotion to Krishna. Here are her two beautiful children and her husband sitting there. She has been eagerly looking forward for this milestone in her spiritual journey to take initiation from Guru Maharaj. so that it propels further her services in the world and for the devotees with a stronger connection with Guru Maharaj and Krishna. And I look forward for her continued friendship and her services for all of us. Thank you.
Okay. The next is obeisances before Prabhupada's Vyasasana. You have to get off your high chair there. Are the kids excited? You understand what's going on, right? Kind of? I'm sure your mom has explained it to you. You're a little shy. It's okay. Obeisances here, and then before the deities, and before the Vaishnavas, and before our founder Acharya and your spiritual master, we're going to ask you to take some vows. Very simple. For the rest of your life, you'll commit to chanting how many rounds a day on your beats? 16 minimum. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex.
Very good. And you'll continue, as you've been doing for so many years, carefully following Prabhupada's teachings.
Yes.
Very good. Initiated name. Ready? Ananda Karani Devidasi. It's the name of Sri Mati Radharani. There's a text written by Rupa Goswami where the names of Radha, and this is one of the names of Radha, she who gives Ananda, Ananda Karani. So, you take it away from here. Huh? More? No, it's the names of Radharani. What more do you want? Hare Krishna.
Om Punandu Mam Devakyaha Punandu Bharatadiyaha Punandu Vishwabhudani Jada Veda Punihimam Om Asya Karmana Bhavandu Bhruvandu Om Punyaham Om Punyaham Om Punyaham
प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे Okay, bye.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. So, within few minutes, you can go to Prasadam Hall for the Prasad. Maybe another 10 minutes, prompt 9:45. Okay. So, exactly at 10:45, the class starts with the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's 7 wonders of the holy name, the Shikshashtaka from His Grace Shyam Sundar Prabhu. Okay. Please be on time at 10:45. Hare Krishna.
they're all just absolutely like trivial. Like, you know how you either go to South Central or you can yeah. Oh.
mansion. It's squishy. What? Whoa, what just happened to that thing? Oh, that's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to go out and in, out and in. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hello? Hello? I wish you Ollie. Hello again. Hello, Papa Papa.
ఇంకొంచెం
We all.
హరే రామ్ హరే రామ్